Welcome back to Beyond the Box Gardens. I'm not using a microphone or anything today. I'm going to be doing a different sort of thing in my videos. I hate editing. That's what has pretty much kept me away from posting on YouTube for a while. It's just like, having this high bar for my editing. Things are changing a bit in Beyond the Box Gardens. Today, I want to take you through the garden, show you the different things that I've done this summer, along with things that I have started for the fall and the winter. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing these videos a little differently. I'm not going to be editing like crazy. I may do a little bit if it's a time lapse or something, but the most you're going to get out of me is a pause and a resume on the video. Now, I want this to be a little bit more, what's the word, organic. I want you to actually know and get to know who I am, what I stand for, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, why it's important to me. And I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of pruning and touching things up so that everything is perfect. Nah, you get it raw now. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to just kind of look around the garden, see exactly what we've done. I think things that we're doing also, I just actually replanted my beet bed. I got 3 more beets. I planted a ton of beets. We got a ton of more stuff going on. Let's check it out. Look at that sleepy baby. Look at that sleepy baby. He has his bed right there. He wants to lay in the sun. All right, this is what we got right now going on. Like I said before, I actually got these beets started a while ago, along with this lettuce and this basil. You can kind of see the basil got a little beat up. We had an outbreak of powdery mildew that I had to deal with. I had to get some sulfur. Excuse my table. It's an outside table. Some sulfur plant fungicide specifically for powdery mildew because that stuff is horrible. It is the aphids of fungus, I promise you. But you can see I got those going already. Everything is growing really well. I literally just a few minutes ago, finished reconditioning these planters, these tubs, or should I say these bays. We got a ton of Detroit Red. I'm doing 100% Detroit Red in this area. I've learned a lot over the past summer of kind of how these bays kind of function and how the plants function in them. So you can see the bays that I just reconditioned are much deeper than say these bays over here, because I recognize that the plants can only get as large as it has substrate to enlarge its root network. So I wanted to make sure that they had plenty of space. I want some big juicy beets this time. I actually just harvested. You can see here it says Beets Chiyoga. You can barely see it right here. It's kind of faded because it's been out in the sun, but I actually already harvested those, and we got literally 1 full quart of beets that I already can, and I'll show you that inside soon. But they grew really well. But as I said before, I'm pretty sure that my only limited factor was that I didn't have enough substrate to get that root network really, really big, and get it functioning. You see, I got some other dead stuff going on back here. I got to clean all this stuff up. Like I said, you're gonna get it raw. This is the reality of gardening. You're into stuff. So you're into so many things that you don't really have a whole lot of time to clean up and keep things super straight. Of course, it's important. I try to keep as things clean as possible. Lately, it's just been taking care of this powdery mildew issue. Let's now check out the high tunnel. You can see we got some growing happening in here. This is what we're going to take through the winter. You can see unfortunately, the condition of the leaves on these tomatoes isn't great because we're in this high tunnel which already blocks out light, and then there's a tree right above it, and this is the only place we had available in our yard to grow. But luckily, tomatoes did adapt and evolve in a dappled light environment in South America, so they're doing okay. As weird and kind of thin as their leaves are, because they don't have enough light to fully produce all the chlorophyll that they need to make big, thick, strong leaves. These ones towards the bottom are doing pretty good though. But they're still doing really well. And as a matter of fact, over here, we already have tomatoes growing. These are the, what do you call it? The Dr. Witch's Yellows. And all of these plants, all of these tomatoes in here are actually clones. So I have 2 Dr. Witch's tomatoes in each of these bins, or each of these. Let me see if I can zoom out. There we go. I have 2 Dr. Witch's tomatoes per bucket. So there's 4 plants, and you can see how crazy they've gone. They have not been in here that long either. Maybe a month. But you can see we already have so much growth, and we already have fruit coming on these. This is over here, actually, Aroma tomato, paste tomato plant that I thought wasn't going to make it. And I put it in here just to see what would happen. And it just kind of outdid itself. You see, I have all these giant tomatoes. They look like banana peppers down here. And then I have so many more up here. They actually fell. We had a windstorm the other day, and they fell, and I had to pull everything up. I actually accidentally broke a few branches trying to pull everything up. But it's just insane. We also have some Berkeley tie-dye tomatoes coming back here. See if I can get these leaves out of the way. So 1, and then 2 here. And I know we have a few more up here, but I don't remember where they all are. But we got more flowers over here and everything. So these guys are doing really well. These are where we're going to be taking through the winter. They're going to slow down quite a bit, but in this environment, we're going to be able to keep them warm. They're going to continue to grow a little slower, but they will grow. You can see we also were able to get our cloned runners to blow up. You can see that these were actually runners from strawberry plants that we had outside, and I wanted these specifically because I wanted to, this is a Sequoia strawberry, and these strawberries get gigantic, and I wanted so badly to get this in some hydroponics, and I did finally. I think the issue right now is just that these are still very young. At the same time, they're under very little stress, and strawberries need stress in order to start producing. So all they want to do right now is reproduce in the form of runners. You can see. So I'm having to cut those off constantly to stress them out a little bit. And then, I don't know, it may be next year before we actually get strawberries on this, because they do need to experience a little bit of a frost. So we also have our crazy pepper plant here. Look at my baby. Woo! It is loaded. I've had to trellis it. It's actually hanging by some twine up here. This entire high tunnel is actually a trellis system as well, so you can tie your twine to it. And see if I can brighten this up. Brighten it up. So you can see all my beautiful peppers. Some of these are some peppers that I actually grew from seed from Costco peppers. These guys, see if we can get, you can see the colors coming out on them. And then we also have some jalapeno peppers. Where are my jalapeno peppers? They were in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Is that a jalapeno pepper? I don't really know anymore. It's all good. You can see those kind of look like jalapenos. That's what my wife said they were, but I don't know. So yeah, like tons of peppers on these, tons of peppers on this one over here. These are actually poblano and bell peppers in the same bin, or in the same bucket. And if I lift this, let's see if you can see some. Yeah, you can see some. This heavy. They smell so good. I wish I had smell-o-vision. Look at this, guys. Look at all these. It's a tree. So we're gonna grow them until they won't grow anymore. These poblanos, whenever they ripen, they're so sweet. I was so amazed at the sweetness. It tastes like candy. And look at my bell peppers up here. Bell pepper. And this is another plant. I think this is a bell pepper too. It hasn't really started giving us much yet, but the one behind it is already, oops, sorry. There you go, see those all the way up. And then we have a whole nother pepper plant over here. And guys, these were new young when I put them in here. They were teeny tiny small. Now we're getting all this fruit and it won't stop. Whew. Yeah, super excited. But that's pretty much the high tunnel area. I didn't go over the pea plant right here. This is the pea bush that I planted. This actually broke out in a really bad powdery mildew. And I just put some sulfur fungicide on it in order to get that powdery mildew to subside. I got to wait a few days to reapply. I got some potassium bicarbonate too that I also may be applying to just kill off, knock down this stuff, but trying to do as little as I can when it comes to, you know, applying too much. This is gonna get ripped out ultimately because I want to do cucumbers in here over the winter. I don't know if it's gonna work. It's gonna be an experiment, but this pea plant has given us tons and tons of peas. It's still giving us tons of peas. You can see how many peas it's given us, but the thing is, I wanted snap peas, and I made a mistake. These are super snap sugar daddies, but they're a shelling pea, and I wanted snap peas. Snap peas, you can just eat the whole thing. And I was going to put them in pot pies, but you know, the shelling peas are good too. We got a ton of them. The dog loves them. The kid loves them, so you can't be too mad about that. So now we're gonna exit the high tunnel. And we'll start over here today at our little pumpkin patch. Yeah, I planted these a couple months back, and they have just done so well. You can see I had a little bit of an issue at the beginning of the season when I was starting these off. I wasn't watering them enough, and eventually I realized that, and I started watering them more. This vine, I think, is just about done. It only produced one pumpkin for us because I think the other one outcompeted it. And that's okay because we got one here, really good size, about the size of a kickball. Got another nice size one here, a little bit bigger. And then we have a third one that is still growing and it's getting big. This has grown at least twice in the last couple days. It's rained a lot. So yeah. And we got another couple of females growing on the end of this vine, if you can see. And we're super excited about this year. We're going to be carving these, and we can also eat them apparently. So make some good pumpkin pie. And I know I'm breathing real loud. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can put this on. Like I said, I'm not doing any. I'm not doing much editing. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me because this is the only way you're gonna get me to do these videos anymore. I'm tired. I got tons and tons to do. Tons and tons and tons to do. Okay, so we have our climbing bean, our blue lake bean bush that is just blown up. It's beautiful. It's exactly how I imagined it. We got some noodle beans back there that I need to pick along with a bunch of blue lake beans. These actually I was concerned about because we had a heat. What was it, heat or cold? It was around a heat that we got, and they all but stopped producing. But they're still growing. They're still producing flowers. They're still producing beans, and we're super happy about that. We also have over here our lettuce rows, our strawberry patch. Those strawberries that I got the sequoia inside for the hydroponics. That's what I got the runners from. Then we have more onions that are growing. I planted onions a while back, and I thought that they were, I pulled them all up, but I guess I left some, or maybe they split and they, you know, but we have 5 more onions growing out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more onions here and 3 more onions here. And you can see how well the nasturtium is actually popping back up along with another, I forgot what this flower is right here, but that's one that I planted from a butterfly mix, and it is gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. That is so pretty. So, these things are looking really, really good. It is already, like I said, the end of September, September 22nd today. So it's gonna start getting colder. It's gonna hit us like a brick, and I don't know how much is gonna survive, but we're gonna keep going until we can't. We also have over here our squash area. We have probably three zucchini plants here, along with some butternut squash. I have a butternut squash underneath this. This is actually onions in these rows. You probably can't even see because it's too bright now. But this is my onion rows over here. I don't know if they're going to do much, but we're going to leave them. I see a few onions that are already growing in here, but I planted onions. The middle is a long date and the sides are short date. I'm trying to time it with the season as it gets colder and the days get shorter. You can see how beautiful this is right here. Gosh, wow, that's pretty. And then our cucumbers want to start doing something again. I was ready to pull these things out, but luckily for them, I didn't get around to it, and they're starting to give us some flowers and some cucumbers again. Hopefully the bees are active. It's pretty late in the season. They're probably starting to get ready for the winter. But like I said, cucumbers are one of those things that are almost impossible to pollinate by hand unless you have a pollination brush. So I'm just going to leave them, and hopefully we get some more cucumbers this year. I've already gotten so much zucchini. I just sold, excuse me, I just sold a 7-pound zucchini to one of my neighbors. And I still have so many coming. These guys will not stop. But it's food. So, like some people kind of sleep on zucchini like you don't want them. Oh, they're gonna produce so much, da 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 da. But it's like, that's good. I want that. You'd be tired of zucchini. I'm not really. It's good food. So this is also, like I said, this vine over here is the butternut squash vine, and then I have these new rows here. This is rutabagas, 2 rutabaga, carrots, beets. I'm super excited for this because I redid all this dirt. I also just redid this area because we pulled up all of our potatoes and our green beans down here that had all but stopped producing anything. So over here we have 2 lines of carrots, 1, 2. We have beets in here somewhere, and we have more carrots. We have radishes along the front. We have parsnips along the back. I put the wood down so that I'll have places to step because, this is all soil. I redid this whole area. I may do some pictures in this video, if you're lucky, of how I reconditioned this soil, at the very bottom and in the dirt, because this was damn near devoid of life, this area, after those potatoes came up. And that's kind of what you want for potatoes. You don't want a ton of organic matter, because I don't know, the potatoes seem to not like super rich nutrient conditions for whatever reason, especially russet. But for this, like I said, underneath it was just dirt. So what I did was I got all my compost, or my scrap bucket, my scrap barrel, dug 4 trenches, put that stuff down in there, put my old compost tea that I've been aging for a couple years down, because I was supposed to bury it anyway. So I put that down in the trenches, and then I put over that the dirt that I dug up, and then over that some compost that was actually composting underneath the tree over there, that kind of compost pile that we put grass and whatever in, and then I put another layer of what I did, all the straw that was here, along with all of the potato plants. So I chopped those all up, mulched those all up into a nice fine mulch, spread that over. And then I started I did some steer compost from the store, along with some raised bed soil, just to really help this area regain its life, because that's the reason why, like I said, you need that organic matter, so the worms will come, so the bugs will come, so you have life moving the soil around in compost. So this is ultimately an in-ground composting method here. Same thing over here. We have some carrots and everything. More peppers. We have more peppers. I planted these. These are mustard greens and collard greens. And then we have more peppers back here, tons of peppers. And then this is the glorious, glorious tomato area. We've gotten so much tomatoes out of here. I've canned at least 15 quarts of tomatoes so far. We've eaten so much tomatoes already on everything. And I probably have another 150, 200 pounds of tomatoes in here. Just on the front, you can see these Dr. Witch's yellows, some of which are not good, like this one here. That one has a really bad bud-in rot. But others are looking really good. And these are ultimately like, so we're using for canning, but they're low acid. So we have to, of course, use lemon juice and whatever. These were Berkeley tie-dyes on this side, which are absolutely gorgeous, and did so well this year. Once again, every single one of these Berkeley tie-dye tomato plants over here are clones. Look at this in the front here. Look at all these tomatoes still in here. Goodness. Oh my. Yay. Yeah. So we got tons of work and tons of food to be harvested still. Of course, we have our beefsteak over here. These actually did way better than I expected them to do. The beefsteaks came out looking more like a little, tomato on the vine ripened kind of thing from the store. But they're still very pretty and very perfect. We got a ton off of here. There's still tons in there, you can see. And of course, we have all our spider friends that are still protecting the tomato area, And then, of course, I got a little Big Max watermelon down here that's growing. We'll see how he does. This is his vine over here. I did just spray a bunch of sulfur fungicide because we have that powdery mildew here too. But it's still doing well. It's going on down the vine. The end of the vine is green, so that's good. So that is kind of it for the outside. Sorry. Yeah. So now I'm going to take you guys inside real quick. I'm going to pause it because the house is not picked up. Before we go any further, we did want to show you the new addition to the family. This is the our pressure canner. I forgot what brand it is, but this has actually been a game changer in our system because now I can take things all the way from seed. I'm going to show you my seed starting area. I can take everything from seed to canned and ready to go. That's what we're going to go look at right now. All right, welcome to the pantry. Well, this is the cold storage. So this is basically just like I said, our outside in the garage. What I wanted to show you here is all the canning that we've already done. We have beautiful, beautiful canned tomatoes. I lost a little water here. This is actually the first cans. I actually blew one up by accident, but they did really, really well. The thing is, I would be more concerned if this was not a normal occurrence, but these are almost exactly the same. So, whenever you can, you got to expect some loss, but I'm getting better and better. Hey, Copper, my doggy's here. I'm getting better and better at this. These are actually our potatoes. So this is pretty much almost all of our potato harvest for the year. Of course, this is a beet jar. This is my Chiyoga beets. And these are the potatoes. And you can see I lost a lot of water. There's a couple reasons why I lost that much water. The first reason is because we have these potatoes sitting down here. They're just out and they're drying out. So they're getting thirsty, especially because these are the low glycemic huckleberry and the purple. So you can see the color of them. You're like, oh, what the heck? Those look kind of not good, man. You don't know if you eat them. No, they're supposed to look like that. So these whiter colors are the low glycemic huckleberry purple potatoes. These darker color are the full purple potatoes. When I peeled these, they were literally blue. It was amazing, beautiful. But of course, when you can these things, all that heat is going to bleach the color, but they're still perfect. The super tight, there's zero air in there. You can tell there's zero air because of how bright they still are, and that tightness of that seal. These ones here are the Pontiac Red. You can see that I put, these actually sealed, or these canned better, and I didn't lose as much water because I canned these almost right after we pulled these out of the ground. So they still have plenty of water in them. These ones have been sitting on the shelf or sitting down here drying out for about a week before I got to these ones. And that's the difference, like, of course, I did make one mistake. I didn't vent the pressure canner before I started the process. I was in a hurry. I had to get my son. Matter of fact, I don't have that much time today. I gotta get my son too. But I hurried up and got this done. And I needed to make sure I vented it, because if you don't vent the pressure canner properly, then you'll end up creating an environment that's not pure steam. And you want a pure steam environment so that all that heat saturates your can and kills all those botulism spores. Botulism will kill you real quick. You see a little small one too we did. Yeah. So we got how many cans? We got 13 cans of potato, or 12 and a half cans of potatoes. We got, how many of this? Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we'll call this 11 cans of, and these are quarts, of course, 11 quarts of tomatoes. This is a pickled spiced zucchini. And then, of course, we have a bunch of canned pinto beans that we did. Have those on deck. And I'm also going to be starting meals in a can soon as well. So we can have a quick, option whenever we're tired. I'm wiped out. I don't have the time to whip up a whole meal. We're going to be doing meals in the can. I already got some sausage for that. All right, let's go inside. Check out the seed start room. All right, now we're in my office, where I'm not going to show you very much because it's my office and it's very messy. So I always got projects going on, We're going to flip this around though. The grow, see, I got stuff up here. Show you the grow area for my seed starts. So the other thing I was going to tell you, like I said, where I planted all those carrots and beets and everything. The reason why I planted them the way that I planted them is because we're also going to be putting these out. So we have the, unzip this a little bit, get a better shot, zoom in a little bit, there we go. We got some kale, some big, that big arm kale, it's called some Italian Nero Tuscan kale. Then we have some Copenhagen market cabbages over here. You can see everything didn't survive, but it's okay because we don't need that many. All I need is like 5, 6 cabbages, 6 kale. These are broccoli back here. We got some big broccoli coming as well. Some of them got, light bleached, unfortunately, but that's what happens. You whenever you're growing like this, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place of, am I going to keep my plants small and allow them to spread out, or am I going to get them away and not have light bleaching? I'm sorry. So let me slow down. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the real me. So whenever you're starting your seeds, you're running this kind of challenge between having them close enough to the light to where they don't get leggy and start falling over and getting weird, or having them far enough from the light so they don't light bleach and die that way. This is a very powerful light that I have up here. It's a Gixxer, but it's equivalent to 1,000 lumens. But I wanted to do it this way because when I put them outside, I want them to have some hardiness whenever they're about to go into the sun. Of course, they're not going to deal with that heat because they are going to be planted probably in October. But I still need to make sure that they're hardy, they're strong enough to survive that direct sun. And I wanted to make sure that they stay kind of short and were able to develop broader leaves and didn't get leggy. Because that's the worst thing. Whenever you have a leggy plant, that plant is more likely to die than a plant that is light bleached. Oh, and also these are Red Express cabbages. These are really difficult to grow, so I'm so happy at the germination that I got in the survival. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this really like stunted one. So we have 6 Red Express that we're gonna put out. Probably 6 Copenhagen Market, and then of course the other broccoli and kale that we're gonna put out too. Super excited, super excited. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's kind of more of a vlog style now. I'm gonna be trying to make more videos. More and more people are becoming more interested in the work that I'm doing. It's taken a little while. Kind of, it's taken a bit of consistency on my part of just like doing the work. Even if I'm not talking to people directly, even if I'm not, selling to people directly, even if I'm not, shaking hands and getting phone numbers, apparently people are still watching. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine because I want to be that inspiration. I want to be that motivation, that person that can show you, hey, you don't need that much space. All you need is the right techniques. And the thing about where we live in our environment or in our society today, almost anything is possible. We have so much technology available just for the common dude or dudette. And you don't need a ton of space. You don't need acres. I've last week I've fed everybody, the whole family, purely with veggies from the garden. And it's potatoes, that's zucchini, that's beans, that's tomatoes, that's beets. And it's possible. And the idea is not to like try and replace the entire grocery budget, because if you drink milk, if you eat cheese, you're not going to be able to do too much of that, on 2,000 square feet. But the idea is to supplement. If you can grow some really good nutritious food, some really good nutritious beets, some really good peppers, some tomatoes, whatever, you can pull that into your diet and begin rebuilding your body. Then that's the point of all this. My purpose is to help people reconnect with Earth, with Gaia. We've gotten so far from her. Food is not just supposed to be calories. Food is supposed to be what we use to not only feed ourselves to keep going, but also heal our bodies. Water is the cleanser. Food is the healer. We have to have good, clean water to flush out all the crap in our body and really, like I said, absorb crap so we can flush it out, and keep our body in what do you call it? Stability. What's the word? Somebody knows the word. Metastasis, I think. No, something like that. But yeah, it's just like the food that we're putting into our body is supposed to help us repair ourselves, not just give us calories so that we can continue working for whoever the heck. Whoever the fuck. I gotta get off of here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you've watched for this far, I don't know if you will or not, but this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just kind of just hang out and do some gardening and try to grow together. So, like I was gonna also talk about my wife. My wife actually has PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which causes different hormonal imbalances and high inflammation in her body. And this is one of the reasons why I actually designed the beet bed, the Johnson beet bed, is to be able to grow tons of beets for her, because beets are literally a powerhouse of healing properties, of antioxidants, so many good things from beets. That helps lower your blood pressure, it helps your cholesterol. Beets are slept on, and it's it's like, of course, in the United States, we're potato people. Potatoes are good, sure, but they don't hold a match. They don't hold a candle to the power and the nutrient benefits of a beet, man. Um, and like I said, since we've been kind of doing more things from the garden, her PCOS, has seemingly started to reduce in its intensity. Her inflammation has gone down quite a bit, and that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to like not just have food, we're trying to heal our bodies. We've gone so far into this future where food is just something that you use to either feel good or keep working, and it's just like food has been the bedrock of all civilization since the beginning of time, since we first learned how to talk to one another. This is how we've traded cultures. This is how we've traded knowledge. This is how we've befriended people of offering our food for their food and trading that and talking about how we grow that food, how we, the adventures, the experiences, the love, the life that we experience while we commune with nature, and then we come together as a people and commune with each other through that shared experience. And that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Anyway, thank you for joining. And long video, but like I said, I'm not editing, so skip around. This has been Beyond the Box Gardens. See you next time.